G'day guys, Scott here from Scott's Adventures. Just like to say hello now that we're finally out of lockdown and everything's semi going back to normal for most states. Unfortunately for Victoria, not so good, but anyway. I just thought I'd make a video, put it up because I haven't had anything since we had done the install in the back of the Prado when I first got it, and that was going some time ago now. Give you a bit of an endeavour or insight I should say as to what Scott's Adventures is, what we plan on doing, where we plan on going, pretty much all that kind of thing. I know on our Facebook page I've got videos up there saying, oh, the first episode's coming soon, the first episode's coming soon. Well, it was. Then we got into lockdown. I had some other personal issues going on previous to lockdown that wasn't allowing me to go away, so unfortunately it all got put on hold. But anyway, here we are now. The first episode's going to be kicking off real soon. Super keen to get in and film it. So basically, we're based in Sydney. Now, we are going to, well, first I should say we've bought a caravan. I'm in the middle of doing some work. That's where I'm sitting now. This is inside our caravan. I'm sitting at the dining area. We're currently planning to go away in October. We're going away to a place called Waddington State Forest. And we're heading sort of north, and we're doing a big lap of New South Wales and regional New South Wales, going through quite a few of the smaller towns and that, but I'll get to that in a minute. So here now, we're in Sydney. I'm decking out the caravan. I'm doing a 12-volt system on it. I'll go through all that with you guys in another video, how we'll set it up, what we run, stuff like that, why we run it, etc, etc. But I'm in the caravan now. I'm in the process of wiring it all up and stuff. Sorting out the car, getting the car ready to go, because we're looking at doing about 3,500 k's in the next month. We're going to be filming the whole 3,500 k trip. So we're going to Waddington State Forest as our first stop, which is up towards Newcastle Way if anyone didn't know, and there's a few other national parks. I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head, but we're going to be going around that area. From Waddington State Forest, we're going to be travelling sort of northwest-ish, sorry, northeast-ish towards Stockton, to a place called Stockton Beach. From Stockton Beach, we're going to another campground. I cannot remember the name of it. It's a campground just below Stockton Beach. You can camp on there. It's actually meant to be very nice. Never been there, don't know what it's going to be like. We're spending a night there. From there, we're venturing all the way up north to Barrington Tops. We're staying in Barrington Tops for a couple of days, going to do some filming around there. There's some beautiful waterfalls and stuff like that you can do around there. From Barrington Tops, we're going to be travelling up towards Tamworth and going to be in Tamworth for a week. Now, we're not going to film our whole entire week-long trip in Tamworth because we're going to be doing editing to get the first video up. We're going to be catching up with some family up there and just sort of taking a bit of a relaxational moment to kind of plan where we're going to go for there from next and how we're going to do it from there. But anyway, from Tamworth, we're going to venture out west. We're going to head towards Bourke. We're going along the highway, I can't remember the name of it, I'll put it in the description, through a whole lot of towns to get to Bourke. From Bourke, we're heading sort of southwest down towards Broken Hill, through the desert. From Broken Hill, we're going to be going back up towards Canberra, cutting along the main highway there, going through like White Cliffs and stuff like that, going down that way, finishing us at a place called Waigala Dam. We're going to be taking the tinny and the outboard. We're going to be taking fishing rods and tackle gear, so we'll be able to do lots of fishing and stuff like that. We'll be able to do lots of four-wheel driving, lots and lots of highway Ks, all that sort of thing. Lots and lots of preparation have gone into this trip, where we're going to reach by certain days, booking in at different campsites and stuff like that. So on Scott's Adventures, we're all about doing a mixture of stuff. We're all about, you know, doing from hardcore 4x4ing to, you know, soft sand to road touring to places you can go with a family. So it should be very, very exciting. Remember, I am going to have the family with me this trip, so we're not going to be too much in the hardcore stuff. It's going to be a lot of, you know, touring more than hardcore 4-wheel driving, but we're still going to do some extreme stuff nevertheless. What else have we got? We also have the fit out on the rig, so on the Prado. I've touched base a couple of bits and pieces here with the Prado, but I've never done a full walk around video of like kind of like what it's about and what we aim to do with it. So I'm going to do that. I'll go through the Prado. I'll show you, you know, pretty much from bonnet to boot lid what we're doing with it. You know, what winch we run, what bull bars on it, what sliders, what's under the bonnet, snorkel setup, interior setup, battery setup, all that sort of thing, because that's all basically already been done. So I'll show you a whole range of different things in that car on an upcoming video. Same with the Caravan. As I said, I'm going to do I'll do a walk around of the Caravan once it's finished. At the moment, it's trashed. So I've got cabling everywhere, I've got conduit everywhere, there's wiring everywhere. It's pretty insane because there's quite a fair bit going in it. So once I get all that sorted, then I'll give you guys, you know, a nice tour of the van, stuff that we've bought, where we've bought it. Remember, we don't have any sponsors. We don't have anyone who puts their hand up and goes, can you please, you know, we'll sponsor you, you know, blah blah blah. This is all on me. So everything you see I purchased myself, and you know, I'm not out there to put a bad name to any companies or anything like that, but you know, we run certain products for certain reasons. So for example, with the power setup in the van, I'm going to be running a pure Soundwave inverter from Kings to run our Caravan, to run the microwave, because I'm doing away with the 240 volt in the Caravan and going purely to inverter and batteries. The reason why we went with a pure Soundwave inverter from Kings is because they're a great cheap budget inverter for building a system on a budget, which I'm about that because I haven't got a lot of money. But it also works for us. You know, stuff like, you know, we're going on eBay to buy a new fridge for the Caravan, which again, I'll go into doing that later on down the line, but we're replacing the fridge in here to an upstanding fridge. We bought one on eBay. It's just an eBay special. It's cost us $500, $12,240. It's perfect, you know, stuff like that. We want to kind of prove, well not prove, but show you that sometimes a cheaper option, especially if you're on a budget, can still be just as good as some of the big boy gear. You know, like our fridge will do the same job as what a Waco or a Dometic, sorry, Dometic is Waco, what Waco, or I can't think of another brand, would do the same. Do you know what I mean? Same within the Prado. So in the Prado, I run pretty much King's everything from 4Drive Supercenter. My DC to DC chargers from 4Drive Supercenter, it works fantastically. I run giant batteries off eBay or from Aussie batteries, because again, they are just a fantastic battery. They work really, really well, and they're quite cheap. You know, most of the stuff that I'm wiring up the Caravan, so from the wiring, the conduits, the plugs, everything, it all come off eBay, all quite cheap. Same thing again, because we're on a budget and we're trying to set it up so we can go away, but you know, get best dollar for dollar at the same time. eBay's your best friend. If you're setting up a car, you're setting up a van, you're setting up yourself to go away, eBay is 100% your best friend for stuff like fittings, plugs, all that sort of stuff, because it's just so much cheaper than if you go into the shops. Like if you go into, you know, a traditional auto parts supplier, again, I'm not going to name names, but you get the idea. When you buy a product from them that might be, you know, I can't think of the name of them now, I've had a mental blank. Anyway, you buy a product from them, you're going to spend like $40 or $50, for example, on a 2-plug 12 volt outlet that you would normally traditionally run your fridge. When you go on eBay and buy one for say $15 to $20, it's going to do the exact same job. You know, and there's that, you've instantly saved $20. So now you can take that $20, go on eBay, you know, you could get yourself some downlights for your Caravan, or some downlights for in the back of your rig, or strip lights for your awning. Like what you could, the money that you will save doing a build from say a supplier shop to a build off eBay is just dramatic. Like the price difference is insane. And as I said, on eBay you do have to be careful. You do have to pick your items, you know. Obviously if they look cheap and nasty, they're going to be cheap and nasty, you know, but you can get some fantastic stuff on eBay for half the price of a shop. And you know, when you're on a budget and you're setting up yourself up a rig, it definitely makes a massive difference on, you know, what you can do and how you can set it up, you know, and all that sort of stuff. So like eBay 100% is your best friend when it comes to setting up or fitting out a Caravan or a car, 4-drive I should say, or anything for that matter. Or even if you wanted to do a small 12 volt system in your toolbox with a little inverter or something just to charge your power tools or something like that, again, eBay is your best friend, because as I said, there was a never-ending list of products on there, and you can save sometimes up to, you know, 90% of what you would spend in a traditional store you could spend on eBay and get just as good of a price. So please keep that in mind. eBay, absolutely fantastic. Oh, there goes my phone, sorry about that. Other than that, that's pretty much where we're at. So we've got the big trip coming up, film for you guys right the way through. You'll be able to see absolutely everything from campgrounds to here to there. Remember to subscribe to our channel, please. You know, I'm doing this as a hobbyist for you guys, so you can sort of see a bit more around Australia and what Australia has to offer. We try to do things that the big shows won't do. Stuff like family-friendly camping, stuff like that. Remember, we're not sponsored by anyone at all, so this is solely on myself. This is new to me as well. So as I said, if you find that the footage is a bit raw, it's choppy and changey here and there, I'm literally filming with a digital camera and a couple of GoPros, and that is it. I have an editing software on my Mac that I'm still trying to learn. And I haven't done any courses in any of this, so I'm learning as I go. So please bear with me if it's a bit shaky, if the footage is a bit raw, the sound's a bit crap, the footage is, you know, not the best. Well, I'm not an editor by any chance, I'm not a photographer by any chance, and I'm definitely not an actor by any chance. So this is us, unscripted, raw, literally going out into the bush with a camera and a couple of GoPros and just filming us camping up, driving around, what can happen, stuff like that, in the places you can see, and that's all we're about. We don't want, you know, massive, big, fancy companies coming along and sponsoring us and giving us all the bee's knees gear and stuff like that to go away and, you know, like everyone else does. We're not about that. What we are about is what I carry and where you can go in a caravan, that, or even a swag for that matter, that, you know, all you've got to own is a four-wheel drive. That's it. You don't have to have a million things on it to be able to go out in the bush. Please do not think that. The big guys will make you think that you need everything under the sun to go away. You don't. All you need is a four-wheel drive, and that is it. You lock your hubs and away you go. You don't need a fridge to start out. You don't need any of that. If you're on a budget and you just want to get out there, get out there. Go and buy yourself a swag. Even if you have to sleep in the back seat of your four-wheel drive, who cares? Just get out there. See what works for you. See what gear you need. You don't need all the bells and whistles. I mean, obviously, you know, if you do plan on doing, like, for example, water crossings, playing in water, anything like that, even like real liquidy mud, stuff like that, look, some of the basic upgrades like a snorkel, you know, and all that sort of stuff, I definitely highly recommend. But other than that, that's all you need. Go to Kmart, buy yourself a sleeping bag, buy yourself a pillow, get a couple of battery lanterns, and away you go. That's all you need, and you can go camping. Literally, that's it. Honestly, like, there is stuff that does make it a lot more luxury, like having an awning over your swag, for example, you know, is quite nice, or, you know, having your swag on a stretcher, or, you know, having lights fitted, a 12-volt system in your car done, all that sort of stuff. Obviously, yeah, okay, it definitely makes it luxury, and it definitely makes it a lot more comfortable at a camp, but you don't need it. You honestly don't need it. Just get out there, have fun, you know, as I said, go to Kmart, buy a sleeping bag, buy a pillow, you know, get a couple of lanterns, and that's it. That's all you need, honestly. And don't forget a shovel and a toilet paper roll, because I've done that before and trust me, it sucks. But as I said, just get out there, have some fun, you know, don't go too extreme. If you're by yourself and you want to tackle some four-wheel drive tracks and you haven't got much recovery gear because you're on a budget, obviously stick to what you're comfortable with. Don't be talked into doing stupid stuff. It's just not worth it. Stick to the stuff you know. Stick to the stuff that you feel comfortable in doing, and you'll be fine. You know, obviously, you go out and say you've got a Navara, your mate's got a lifted up GQ Patrol station wagon, you know, he's got the lift, he's got the lockers, he's got the winch, it's the bee's knees, it'll go anywhere sort of thing, you know, and you've got your pretty much stock run of the muck Navara and you're just getting into it. Don't follow him. Don't let him talking to, you know, oh, you can drive up there, because you're going to do damage to your four-wheel drive. That's the stupidest thing you could do. Just do whatever you feel comfortable with. And also remember, do what you can with what gear you've got. So, for example, if you're going into a bog hole, check its depth. That's kind of, you know, common sense. But, you know, if you're going up a fire trail or a power lines track or something of that nature, and you know it's quite rutted out, and you're walking up it and you think, okay, if I get stuck, how am I going to get out? What can I do to get out? Okay, if I get stuck on that rock, how am I going to go back? How am I going to go forward? I haven't got a winch. Bog boards isn't going to help me. Or if you own a set, if you don't, okay, I don't have them. You know, how are you going to get out? What can you do to get yourself out? You need to be thinking that every single time you go into like a bog hole or a track or somewhere where you've got to put it in four-wheel drive. Always think worst case scenario. So that way you are prepped for it if it does happen. So, you know, okay, I go into this bog hole, I get stuck. How am I going to get out? I don't have a winch. I don't have recovery boards. All I've got is a few snatch straps and a couple of ratchet straps. How am I going to get out? I have pulled myself out in a Corolla, may I add, out of a big bog hole up one of the national parks here locally. I was up camping. It's all I had at the time. I didn't have enough money to buy a four-wheel drive. All I had was a Corolla. I had my Corolla. I had a couple of ratchet straps, and that's about it, and a tent. And I was, you know, obviously going up a track that I shouldn't have been going up in a Corolla. I got stuck, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get out of here? This is terrible. I know. I ended up making a winch using the ratchet strap and just bit at a time. Go for a bit, stop, go for a bit, stop, and I ended up being able to get myself out of that bog hole because at least I had something. And I also went into it thinking, okay, if I get stuck, okay, I can do this and it's going to work. Do you know what I mean? So I had something. Other than that, that's it. That's all you need to get out. It's just a four-wheel drive and basic recovery gear. That's it. Don't be talked into going and getting everything that you don't need straight off the bat. You know, you want to take food, you can't afford a fridge, that's fine. Go to get an ice chest and put some ice in it. Do you know what I mean? At least you're still getting out there and you're giving it a go. And then you can work out later on down the line what works for you. You know what I mean? You can take your time, you can go through the four-wheel drive saws. As I said again, we are not sponsored by anyone, but I strongly recommend Four-Wheel Drive Supercenter. They are a great starting point for people on a budget who want to get into the camping game or want to get into four-wheel driving, because more and more people are getting into four-wheel driving and more people are getting into camping because a lot of people can't travel overseas, so they want to go and explore what's in their own backyard, which is fantastic. But you've also got to remember, for anyone who's starting out, please do some research on where you're going to. Please make sure you have the basic recovery gear, and the biggest thing that I cannot stress, please take your rubbish with you. And don't be one of these heroes that sits there and does donuts at campgrounds, because that's how campgrounds got closed down, or get closed down I should say. I recently read an article somewhere that somebody posted up not too long ago now. Beautiful campground, was beautiful and green. They opened it up to the public. Not even a month later the place looked like a desert because idiots have been in their four-wheel drive doing donuts and wrecking it for everyone else. So the national parks have gone and go, okay, you know what, you're not going to do the right thing, bang, closed. Probably never going to reopen. That's what we don't want. You know, the idea of owning a four-wheel drive, going four-wheel driving and going camping is that it is a lifestyle and a hobby. And not only that, you know, a lot of people that do the right thing, that's awesome, good on you. I'm stoked about that. But for you guys that don't, you should be ashamed of yourself, because you wrong people, you are what closes these campgrounds and these national parks so that we can't go and enjoy them. And I'm finding more and more parks and more rangers are complaining and closing national parks because people are grubs and they don't take their rubbish. You know, they don't dig a hole to get rid of their waste. They do the wrong thing, and it is just absolutely horrible, and it's not fair on the four-wheel driving and camping community. It's just not. You guys should be enjoying yourselves, you know, doing the right thing so that these parks can stay open and then we can all use them in future, you know. That's pretty much it, guys. I mean, I've had my rant, my rave now. I've told you what we've got coming up. That's pretty much us. As I said, I will do a video through what we've done to the car, through what we've done to the van, all that sort of stuff. Once everything's all finished and everything's nice and neat, and because as I said, at the moment everything's just everywhere and it's horrible. stay safe, make good choices. Make sure, as I said, if you do plan on going somewhere, do your research, find out what the terrain's like. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Just get out there, enjoy yourselves, do the right thing by the lockdown rules, and we can all have a good time. Stay safe, guys. We'll talk to you soon. See you later.